Okay, hi. So in this video, we are going to be finding the least common multiple, right? Multiple of the expressions that I have. In this case, I'm going to start with the numbers. The easiest way here to find this one, on this one is not so hard, but I just want to show you that we're going to start by doing the prime factorization of each number. So this is 3 times 4 and 2 times 2. So that's my prime factorization, right? So I have 3 and I have 2 squared times 3, right? When I'm finding the least common multiple, I'm going to first find my greatest common factor. My greatest common factor here is 3. Why? Because the 3 is the only number that is repeating between both numbers, 3 and 12. So I'll write this right here, 3. Now I'm going to multiply that 3 times everything else that is not repeating on both of them. So in this case, it's just a 1. I don't need it, but this one, 2 squared, so times 2 squared. So this is 3 times 4, that is 12. So my least common multiple between 3 and 12 is 12, right? Another other way is to find the facts, right? The tables, the table of the 3, the table of the 12. So the first number that appears on both of them is 12. Wait, number 2. Now, right, again, my least common multiple between those two numbers, I'm going to start by finding, let's say, their common factors. Let's say 4 and 6, 2, 2, 2 and 3. So this is 2 times 2 is the factorization of 4. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times, oh, I wrote 1, 2 too much. Okay. So I have repeating here A2. I have repeating a second 2. So that means that my greatest common factor is 2 squared. Now I'm multiplying that 2 squared times everything that is not repeating. So times 2 times 3. When I simplify that, I have 4 times 2, 8 times 3 is 24. So the least common multiple between 4 and 24 is 24, right? Okay. Now, when I have variables, it's something very similar, but with the variables, when I have the variable by itself, is easier, right? Why? Because it's going to be the least common multiple. It's going to be the variable with the highest exponent, right? In this case, you know that the first number that is on both tables, on the 4 and the 8, is 8. So my least common multiple here is 8. And again, just x squared, right? We can do exactly the same, right? Let's do it as we, right? So 4 is the same as 2 times 2 times x, right? And 8x is 2 times 2 times 2 times x times x. So I have a 2 that is repeating. I have a second 2 that is repeating. And I have also the 1x that is repeating. So I have 2 squared times x is my greatest common factor, right? Now I'm multiplying this times everything else that is not repeating. So I'm multiplying times the 2 and I'm multiplying times the x. So this is the same as 8x squared. As you can see, I have it right there. So what happened when I have a algebraic expression, right? In this case, I have x. So my first step is that I'm going to check if I can factor anything right there. If none of those two factors, then my least common multiple is the multiplication of both of them. But I can factor my second term because x squared minus 4 is the same as x plus 2, x minus 2, right? So as you can see, I have the x plus 2 is repeating. So my least common multiple here is x plus 2 times everything else that is not repeating, so times x minus 2. If I FOIL, I have x squared minus 4. Next one, again, I'm going to start by factoring x minus 1 times x plus 1. And the next one factors to x plus 1, x plus 1, right? Two numbers that you multiply and give you 1, and you add and give you 2. So I'm going to identify first my greatest common factor. I have the x plus 1 is repeating, right? So x plus 1 times times everything else that is not repeating right there. So times x minus 1, x plus 1. So x plus 1 squared times x minus 1. We can keep it like that. Okay, now this one. X squared minus 32x plus 60. Two numbers that you multiply and give you 60, and you add and give you 32. Those are x minus 30x minus 2. My next one is 2 times x plus 5. Right? So my least common multiple here, as you can see, there's nothing that is repeating on both sides. So my least common multiple here is 2 times x plus 5 times x minus 30 times x minus 2. So my least common multiple is the multiplication of everything. Okay, so in this one I have two trinomials. So again, I'm going to start by factoring. Two numbers that you multiply and give you 4, and you subtract and give you 3. Those numbers are x minus 4, x plus 4, x minus 1. Right, on the next one, two numbers that you multiply and give you 8, and you subtract and give you 2. X plus 4, x minus 2. Again, I'm going to identify my greatest common factor. What is repeating? As you can see, the x plus 4 is repeating. So my least common multiple is x plus 4. And then I'm multiplying that times everything else that is not repeating. So times x minus 1, x minus 2. And that's it. That's my least common multiple. We're going to use this to add or subtract rational expression and to solve rational equations.